Welcome back. The Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform has cautioned the importers and the public about the review of suspension on importation and in transit of cloven-hooved animals and their products from South Africa into Namibia or in transit due to the confirmed outbreaks of foot and mouth disease in South Africa. We are aware that we will be having the ministry's chief veterinary officer in studio tomorrow morning for GMN. But joining us now on the line to give us an update is the ministry's spokesperson, Jona Musheko. A very good evening to you, Jona, and welcome to the Daily Roundup.
Well, good evening to you and the viewers.
Jona, when did the outbreak of foot and mouth disease in South Africa first come to light?
Well, thank you. Firstly, for reaching out to us so that we can update the nation, most especially our importers, because this information we usually target those that are doing business between South Africa and Namibia and other countries, obviously, when it comes to livestock. The FMD outbreak in South Africa is not new, as we all aware that the first outbreak that led to us imposing suspension of importation of cloven-hooved animal is that of 2019. And then obviously, as we speak this year, they have reported an increase or continuation of the outbreak to different parts of South Africa. And in the recent new outbreaks, they were recorded in different areas as well. So what we've issued today is just an update and also to include some of the products that were not included in the ban. And I think we will get to that earlier or later on during this interview.
So in the ministry's statement that was released, it says that this outbreak could have catastrophic effects in the country, in the country's FMD free zone. Please unpack that for us.
Well, for those that are into livestock farming, most especially cattle, they are aware that Namibia is divided into 3 zones. That is most especially when it comes to animal disease control, whereby the south of the red line or the cordon fence is classified as the FMD free zone, and we also have part of the O region and as well as part of Kunene, and also part of Kavango West and part of Kavango East that are referred to as protection zone that are obviously protecting the FMD free zone. And then the last part is the infected zone, which is the entire Zambezi region and part of the Mukwe constituency of Kavango East. The last zone, which is the infection zone, is labeled as such because of the obviously the free roaming buffaloes in those areas that are known to be carriers of FMD for longer periods, such as 5 years. And when these buffaloes interact with cattle or animal, that is how they get to pass on FMD through to other animals. So those are the zones we have in Namibia. And the only way to protect these zones from interacting disease-wise and animal disease-wise is to make sure that we have control measures such as those that we are very aware, what is referred to as the red line, and also other fences between there and within the zones that are meant to make sure that movement of animal within and across those zones is controlled, and we know what type of animal, what is their disease status, so that we do not have a mixed up when it comes to the zones and their status we have. The importance of zoning, this allows us to be able to export meat products from the free zone as well as the protected zone or either the infected zone, depending to the modalities that we have to follow on each of the zones. On the free zone, we don't follow strict modalities such as those we have to follow in the protection zone as well as in the infected zone, because obviously the last time when we had FMD cases reported in the south of the Cordon Fence some years back in the 70s. And this free zone, it was declared as a free zone by the World Organization for Animal Health in 1997. That's when we got that status that allows us to export animal products from the south of the red line with very less or less strict measures in place. So that is it when it comes to zoning of Namibia when it comes to disease control, animal disease control.
I think, Jona, the question on everyone's lips is how can we be assured that some of these products may not have already entered the country and are currently on our shelves of the local retailers?
Well, as I've mentioned earlier, that the control measures that we just announced today, they are not new measures. They are measures that have been in place since 2019. What we added is just some products such as the pork products as well as pork or pigs. They were not included. Those are what we have added just because we want to be very careful and cautious to not take any risk. But the importation of live animal, most especially those cloven hoofed, the measures have been in place since 2019. Our officials at the borders have been already implementing these measures. What we are doing now is just to strengthen the capacity, most especially our officials that are at the borders, whereby we are dispatching additional staff members. This is obviously because of the recent announcement by the South African government when it comes to the increasing number of outbreaks in the areas of KwaZulu-Natal, Mpumalanga, of which in other areas that are totaling to more than 100 cases. This increasing number of cases in South Africa is what led to us to be, to just be more cautious and update the measures that have been already in place. So there is definitely no need for the public to panic or to fear that these there are products or that are coming from these zones that are already in the market. We have also terminated import permits and in-transit permits that were issued recently that are coming from South Africa or have got any contact with South Africa, either in transit from South Africa to other areas that are also coming to pass through South Africa, Namibia, either to Angola or other countries. So we have also terminated those import permits just to make sure that we are not risking our livestock sector.
Thank you, Jona. Jona Musheko, the Chief Veterinary, the spokesperson of the Ministry, of Environment there, speaking, or rather Agriculture, Water and Land Reform, sorry about that, and of course assuring us that the FMD outbreak is indeed under control. Let's now take a look at